You chose dental implants because, they are a permanent solution. But 2 years later, have they stood the test of time?
Uh,
What is it like taking care of them?
there's maybe an extra step. It takes like maybe 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds more.
Do you tell people that you have like dental implants?
I didn't say nothing to anybody.
Ken got his full mouth dental implants over 2 years ago. And today, he's here to answer the most asked questions that people have about living with them long term and whether they still feel worth it today. Are you ready, Ken?
I am ready.
Let's dive in. I know, like many, there's an adjustment period when you first get, your teeth put in. So, 2 years later, are you still adjusting or do you kind of forget that they're even there?
I forget that they're there. I'm so used to it by now. It's a part of me now.
So,
Yeah.
what makes you kind of forget like that you even have them? Like, what do you kind of do on a daily basis that where like they don't even come to mind anymore?
Most of the time when I'm eating, um, talking, just everyday normal things that we would take for granted, It just feels so natural now.
That's so awesome. Well, when did they stop feeling, maybe kind of foreign in your mouth? How long did it take to get to that point?
I would say for talking, it took about a month for me to start talking normally. Maybe even less than that because of what I do with all my talking and that. I'm a talker, and so but the eating that was about a month too. See that one, the eating seemed a little more, even though it was soft food, it still felt a little weird. But once I started, eating a little bit more, it just seemed more natural, and I got used to it, and it was just second nature then.
And what can you eat with them now? I know you said at first you were kind of on a soft diet, which at
Yeah.
Nuvia is typically like 4 months, but what can you eat with them now?
Oh, just about anything. I won't try jawbreakers, but I wouldn't do that with anything anyway. My favorite things are these garlic. I even got it right here. Garlic herb olive oil almonds. I
Ooh.
don't like almonds. They were out of stock. They were shut down for a couple years, and they brought them back just recently. So I just bought a whole bunch of them, and now I'm so well stocked with these almonds. I love them. That was one of my favorite things. Now I love chomping on them, and before that, I could chomp on them, but it had to be like a certain way, and it's a lot easier now to chomp on them now. And
Right.
all the other things too, like corn on the cob. When you're missing your front two teeth, that doesn't make it easy. So you end up taking a knife and cutting down the kernels onto the plate.
It sounds like a lot less effort to do something.
Yes, that's
Wow. Okay, so whenever, you gotta eat, but then you also gotta take care of them, right? You gotta clean those bad boys. So,
yeah.
day to day, what is it like taking care of them? Is it a big deal, or is it kinda similar to taking care of natural teeth?
There's maybe an extra step, but it's not. It takes like maybe 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds more. You brush them, and then you take the water pick and you go through. And it's very important to hit it with the water pick. That's to me is very important because you never know if you get like little something there and you might miss it. So it's important to do the water pick. And then if you can, flossing is also very important as well. And if you can get into spots where you floss it, you got to floss it.
So, when it comes to, these dental implants, they're not coming out, right? Like dentures would?
No, they're not coming out at all.
Wow. Okay, so and when I didn't ask this earlier, but like whenever you are like eating or talking or even like, brushing them, do they feel like strong in your mouth? Or I guess do they feel durable? What do they, I guess,
Oh,
inherently
they feel
feel like?
strong. They feel strong. When I just chomp into something that I would have struggled with before, right? It feels so good to be able to do that. It's like, oh, eating all this stuff's a lot different now, and being able to do it and feel so strong, and it's gonna be for the rest of my life, and it's all good stuff. all good
I
stuff.
can imagine. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine going from not being kind of being limited in many ways and now it not really being a concern. So you chose dental implants because, they are a permanent solution. But 2 years later, have they stood the test of time? Have they caused you problems?
No, not one problem. I have had zero issues with them. It's just, the same as when I got the very first time almost, except now I can eat solid, strong foods, of course. But yeah, there's no issues.
So, like you said, those are the same teeth you got 24 hours after surgery.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That is pretty amazing. And what about, like appointments with Nuvia after the fact? Like, is there a lot of back and forth, or do they kind of just go like, "Oh, all right, there you go," or how does it work after the
Uh,
fact?
okay, for me, I was a travel patient, so there were Zoom calls for like X-rays and make sure everything was good. They did that here in my hometown, and then they had that stuff sent to them. And then when I was approved, I was brought in. They did everything there, and when I got home, it was 2 weeks later, and then it was a Zoom call for our 2 week meeting, and they wanted to know how everything was. They wanted to see everything that I could show them. And then I was put on the 4 month diet, or the 4 month soft food diet, where then, of course, it was everything soft food. And then 4 months later, I flew back to Salt Lake City, and then I did my year appointment in Detroit because they opened up down there and it's much closer. So I was able to go in for the cleaning there. And now there's another place opened up that's closer yet now. So
Really?
yeah, in Milwaukee.
Wow. That's really cool because you were able to, you weren't originally located near an office and
No.
you're able to travel to go get it done. You got your teeth 24 hours after surgery. That seems like a good deal there.
Yeah, definitely is. Who would have thought, right? 24 hours later, and pow, there you are.
Absolutely.
And it just all worked out great.
And when it comes to these appointments that you have to go back for, do those like cost anything or are there any like any hidden fees that maybe you didn't expect kind of after the fact?
There's nothing hidden, no surprises to jump out at you to surprise you or whatever. And no, it was good that way too.
Awesome. So yeah, it sounds like it's all inclusive and there's nothing that, because I'm sure people have gone to the dentist many times in their life, including myself, where after the fact, they're like, pay me more. And it's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Because the cost is a big concern,
Yes.
So that's good to hear that there was nothing after the fact that they had, no surprises.
Yeah, everything was right up front.
Awesome. How do people find out how much this cost in the first place? Is it typically like the same for everybody?
No, everybody's very, very different. The way our mouths are, the damage that was done. For me, there was some added issues with my lower jaw because my bottom teeth actually were in front of my top teeth. So there was some extra issues with that. But no, everybody's very, very different. That's why you just cannot say, "Oh, hey, I did this, I did this, I did this." You got to throw that right out the window.
And where can people learn more about maybe like general cost of this procedure?
Nubia has got a price guide, and it's very easy to find. You can download it, and it will give you all the information that you need to decide uh, and see how much give you the ballpark idea of how everything's going to be, and it'll work out great.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I think that's a great place to start. Let's move on. I have a few more questions for you, Ken. Well, it sounds like that you don't really think about your teeth anymore. They kind of become a part of you. And I am curious, like, how has that changed social situations for you? Do you think about your teeth or how does that go for you?
For the longest time, whenever I would laugh or smile, I would just be like this, trying to kind of cover it up a little bit. And I did that for a while after I had it. But then I think, what are you doing? You got this beautiful thing in your mouth, show it off. And so I had to kind of put my arm down to just like that. And it's amazing when you're in a store and you're walking around and you're smiling, and people see that and they smile back at you, and it brightens up people's day.
Oh, yes. I mean, your smile brightens up my day. It's doing that right now. So,
Thank you.
I think that's really amazing, and it makes sense that, it took a while for you to kinda get to that point of not hiding it, right? Because you spent so many years probably doing the opposite. After going through this, is there something you wish you would have known beforehand about, how it would change your life?
Everything, it was kind of everything was kind of how I was hoping it would be, and kind of how I figured it would be. I didn't think anything less. I kind of had a little bit high expectations for how this was gonna be, and that was kind of like my own high hopes, my own positivity, and it's lived up to it. And most people were very encouraging. Of course, you got the one or two people I'd be like, "Oh, you're just fine the way you are," but if you can make yourself a little bit better, a little bit healthier, you got to remember that too. A little healthier, uh, you got to go for it.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that, and I am curious too, I forgot to ask this, but how like, when you are in those social situations, like, and you're not hiding anymore, do you tell people that you have, like, dental implants? Or because I know a lot of people I've seen people ask that, like, do you tell people, or are you, like how I guess how does that work for you?
No, I don't have to really say anything. Another here's a little story if you don't mind me. When I went to right before I went to St. Paul, I seen a friend of mine, and we were walking to Walmart together. And we were talking. This is right before I was going to St. Paul, or not St. Paul, or to Utah. And we were talking, and she knew she's seen that before. So we were talking, and we went to the store and we parted our ways. And then, but I came back. I had to go to Walmart. I had to pick something up right away, and I ran into her, and she didn't recognize me. And so I didn't say nothing, and I didn't say nothing to anybody. If they didn't recognize me, I didn't say nothing to anybody. I was just kind of letting it, okay, you know what, this stuff. Let's just have a little fun with this. And then people, people started knowing, and then I posted it on social media, so some people knew about it before, but some people didn't. It was kind of good to surprise them a little bit.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't know that you got this done, I wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they look so beautiful, and they're so you too, right? Like, everyone's smile seems
Yes.
very different than the next, right? Because, like you said,
Yeah.
everyone's situation is different.
Yes. Exactly.
Over 2.5 years, Ken, knowing everything you know now, would you still choose to go through it all again?
Oh, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Uh, you know, when you look at right from the beginning to the very end, there were no issues. Everything went smoothly as far as Nuvia's side of it. They're, having everything done and in 24 hours and just a little uncomfortableness, no pain really, to being able to light up the next day, getting my teeth, following the instructions, and then going through each step. And here we are. This is all Nuvia does is implants. That's They have just a crew. They have their own doctors that take care of everything. So you're in great hands. It was definitely worth it. And I'd 10 out of 10 times do it again.
Well, Ken, thank you so much for sharing with us today that your experience. And for those out there, if you want to learn more about the 24-hour dental implant process and what it could cost you, make sure to check out that free dental implant cost guide
Yep.
in the description below. Until next time, keep
Keep smiling.
smiling.